Hi, this is Diane Devani with Pacific Ridge Realty,
And I'm John Cohen, president of Qualified Financial, a local mortgage broker.
and this is the Weekly Five. Welcome. Hi, John.
Welcome. Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Life is good. I know you have another listing coming up, so congratulations on that. I know that's
Thank
for another
you.
episode, but
Yes, thank you.
you're doing a great job. And I wish I was there to do the open house with you, but I am going to be out of towns for that week. So if it's around the next week, then which hopefully it's not, but
I'm
if it
sure.
is, then I will join you the following week.
Yeah, it's always great to have you at open houses for buyers that come in and you're able to always answer their questions and give them some help. So that's always nice. I always appreciate you coming.
Absolutely. So this week I wanted to take the reins here and I wanted to talk about, I think, something that's very important, and it's renting versus buying. Okay.
Yes,
And so I took notes. I'm going to be looking down at my paper a lot because a lot of people are kind of on the fence. So hopefully this will give them a little bit of a nudge in
I
one
love it.
direction or another. So, and it says rent versus buy, what's really holding you back? Okay. So
Excellent.
this is something that a lot of people are struggling with right now, whether they should be renting or buying. And so we're going to explore that. So, first off, when you're renting, you're basically paying 100% interest. So essentially, the payment's 100% interest, and every month you're covering someone else's mortgage, helping them to build their equity and their wealth. Okay, while you walk away with nothing to show for it. Okay, so here's an example: you're paying $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year, gone with no return, right? Over 5 years, that's $180,000 that you could have put towards your home.
Wow.
That's just in 5 years, to give you an example.
Wow.
Okay. So, home ownership, number two, is home ownership builds wealth. So, when you buy, every mortgage payment builds the equity, which is your future wealth, obviously. And every uh, modest appreciate like over time your property appreciates. So if we look at a modest appreciation of just say 3%, here's an example. You buy a home that's $600,000. Okay,
Right.
just giving you just a basic scenario. At an appreciation of 3% a year, right? That's after 5 years, your house is worth about $695,000. That's almost $100,000 in appreciation over a period of just 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not including the principal that you're actually going to be paying down.
Mm-hmm.
So your equity is going to be growing very quickly on that property. Another thing is number three is stability and tax savings. So when you're renting either a condo, a home, or a apartment, what happens every year? The rent goes up.
It does.
When you own a mortgage, it stays fixed. It does not go up.
True. Mm-hmm.
So owning a home gives you payment stability and tax write-offs, um, for the mortgage and the mortgage interest and for the property taxes. So this will give you an example here. So when you own a home, you're unlocking a number of valuable tax benefits that renters miss out on. Okay. So the biggest is mortgage interest deduction. So, which you can reduce your taxable income significantly by writing off the interest on your property and also the taxes, the property taxes on your property. So, here it gives you an example. If you're buying an $800,000 home, okay, and the loan amount's $760,000 at 6.5%, you
Mm-hmm.
could pay over $48,000 in interest in your first year alone. So
Wow.
that's potentially saving about $11,000 on your taxes, depending on your tax bracket. So you can also deduct your property taxes up to $10,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
which adds even more savings, particularly in higher tax states like California.
Yeah.
So in some cases, you actually can write off if you're doing an FHA loan or have a loan that has mortgage insurance. In some cases, you can actually write off that insurance as well. So on top of that, every single mortgage payment helps you build equity, which
Yep.
is like a forced savings plan. Unlike rent. You're just throwing money out every single month. So owning a home becomes not just a life decision, but it's a powerful financial strategy, right? The other thing is freedom and control of your property. So when you own a home, you want to paint the walls, you get a dog, build a gym at home, do some work in the garage, hang some shelves. It gives you freedom to do that without having to ask the landlord for permission and dealing with increases in rent or even sudden evictions if they decide they want to sell their property. So
Yeah.
there's stability. You're not going anywhere until you decide to sell. So it's another benefit. And then there's folks out there, this sounds all great, but I don't really have the down payment, right?
Hmm.
A lot of people think 20% is required to put down. That's not the case. It's a myth that we debunked a few podcasts ago.
Right.
So you could put as little as 3.5% down on an FHA loan.
Hmm.
And the FHA loans have interest rates almost a full percent lower than regular conventional loans. So that option's available to you. So, um, my recommendation, if this is something that you're actually interested in wanting to see if it's something that you could qualify for, is a good idea to see if you can get pre-approved or pre-qualified. You could reach out to me. We could take no more than maybe 15 to 30 minutes to figure out if it's something that actually does make sense for you. But
Hmm.
clearly, if you're still unsure, pick up the phone, give me a call. I'll walk you through the numbers and your options. And there's no pressure at all. Okay. And you might be closer to owning a home than you actually really think. Right. But I could tell you right now, if you're renting, you're out there renting, you're throwing money out the door. You're making somebody else rich.
Yep.
Again, $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year in just unrealized money, just going out to somebody else's wealth. So, I don't know if you guys have any questions, you want to see what you're qualified for, definitely reach out to me. You could DM me. My phone number also is 949 289 9995. And Diane will put my information in there for the my email address as well.
This
Okay.
was excellent information. I really like the light that you shed on this, because it's very true what you're saying, and I think it's the path of least resistance sometimes to just rent instead of facing the thought of buying something. But
And
yeah,
rent is not getting cheaper, it's only going up.
so expensive. And I love what you said about forced savings because it really is. It really is a method of forced savings.
Yeah, it's by building your equity. The biggest thing I think is that the write-off, that interest write-off and the tax write-off. So
Yeah.
you might be paying more for a mortgage payment sometimes rather than renting. That could be the case.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, when you're writing it off against your income and you're paying less in taxes, you're making it up there.
You know, yep.
So it's a big difference. So a lot of you renters do qualify to purchase a home. There are a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many first-time young home buyers are taking the initiative and doing it. And they're getting, they are getting out of their comfort zone and they're looking for pre-approvals or getting pre-approved and they're buying homes. So
Yep.
let
Yep.
that be you. So anyways, I think that's all the time we had
Excellent.
today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. And
Great.
until next time, thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.